Okay, here we are once again after a long interval. I'm Lance Ash, and this is my wife, Bonnie.
Hello.
And we're doing another in our long-running series of shows. What is that noise out there?
I don't know.
These people down the road are always ripping up and down their driveway on their ATVs and go-karts and whatnot. I wonder if people act like that up in Vermont or...
No idea. I'm sure there are rednecks everywhere.
That's what I was going to say. I've heard people say that there are rednecks everywhere.
There are even rednecks in Canada, but just a little nicer.
Well, yeah. I imagine a lot of people in Canada are proud of their rural derivation. Anyway, so let's begin with you. What's been going on, Bonnie?
I don't know. I am caught at a loss for words, dear.
Oh, how are you today?
We went to a book sale,
Yep, we did.
and they didn't have anything alphabetized, so I left. I'm not going through 60,000 books looking for an author, and they're not alphabetized. I run book sales, and it doesn't take much to alphabetize.
Well, the biggest and best annual library book sale around here is the Oconee County Library Book Sale, and I like to go every year. They have a civic center a couple miles down the road from the library, and that's where they hold the book sale. And I usually go on the first or second day of the sale, and then also go on the last day for the bags part. You know, you get $10 all you can shove in a bag, and I might do that this year. I don't know. We went today, and the only thing I got were 3 CDs, and none of them were very good, to be honest. 2 of them were Ricky Lee Jones CDs, and one was a Dave Koz CD. And I was really irritated at these 2 old... I don't even know what this...
Losers? I believe the word is losers.
Well, kind of nerds, but not really. Kind of socially dysfunctional people.
Losers.
Picking through the CDs like they were...
Gold.
Yeah, well, like they were starving and they were hunting for kernels of corn through a refuse bin. But they got to check each... It was just irritating. They had that smooth, waxy skin like a corpse. Oh, God.
It's because they hadn't been out in daylight, dear. They live in their mother's basement.
Yeah, they had that look, 60 years old and still living with their mother.
It's got to be a lawnmower.
Maybe it's a lawnmower. Maybe
the lawn service left our place and went next door.
My mother said that they cut her grass today, too.
Well, I don't know.
It sounds like an airplane.
It sounds like a helicopter.
Yeah, it doesn't.
It's too late for pot season.
It does not. It's like a helicopter.
No,
No.
Is it right? Is it right?
I think they harvest in October.
Oh, maybe they're doing the grid search then with the helicopters.
Maybe, but anyway, so I went to the book sale, and like Bonnie said, I don't usually pick out fiction at these kind of things, but it was kind of chaotic. I went through the humor section, and I went through the foreign language section, I went through the comics/graphic novel section, and I went through the CDs. That's the only things I really give a shit about. I went through the art section, and just a bunch of great big coffee table sized books, and you think, oh, okay, this looks good. And you thumb through them, and then it's black and white reproductions of the artwork. I mean, what is the point? And then a lot of text. If you got a coffee table sized book, you want great big
Visual.
color reproductions.
Yep.
And anyway,
Didn't you give Rita an Arte book or something years ago? She cut it up for
maybe
for her house.
that is one good thing you can do with those kind of books if you get them at the sales, is you can cut the pictures out.
I've actually bought a second book, or picked up a second copy when I found something good, like that Franz Marc book. And now I've framed a couple of things because the images were fabulous. Of course, the book was from the 1950s from a German exhibition. That's the reason I didn't want to cut it up until I found a second copy. But yeah, you can find some great art.
Those old Reader's Digest compilations where they'd have 4 condensed novels in a single volume. They're always illustrated with the old-fashioned type illustrations. And those are always good to cut up for the pictures. And let's see what else is going on. I went to the doctor this morning, and it was
Pain in the ass. It took 30 minutes to see you or more. You came in there.
yeah, I guess so. I was in there so long I meditated in the little examination room.
Well, that's a good use of your time. I've gotten to the point where I just carry paperback books in my purse, or I actually always carry Sudoku.
Yep. Our son is passing through the room. He longs to participate in the show, but we won't let him.
He's back to Babylon 5 binging, now in season 2.
And our daughter was over here just about half an hour ago. Stopped by for some. She took Peter home.
Yeah.
Brought him home. Oh.
We came and ate our food, and then ate our food some more.
Talked about her pet cat a lot.
Yes.
She talks about her pet cat more than she does her boyfriend.
Or herself. She loves that cat.
Like, she's all grown up. I can't believe it.
27 and 25?
Yeah.
Jesus.
It's odd, isn't it?
Yeah.
Our kids are older than we were when we got married.
Well, one of them is. Well, how old were you when you got married?
I was 25 and a half.
Oh, okay.
You were 26.
Mm.
And then I was 26 when Reeve was born, and you were 27 when she was born. So, yeah.
Quickly turned 28 and 30 with the kids. God almighty. It's amazing, though. I was so much younger. I had so much more energy with those two. That's got to be lawn maintenance at one of the neighbors. It's just unending, isn't it?
I don't know what that is. If you'll be patient, I'm going to go open the front door here and find out what the hell is going on. Let's see. That's a helicopter.
What the hell? There's a game tomorrow. They're doing security.
Maybe.
It's security sweeps for the game.
The guys came by and cut the yard today, and it smells nice and sweet out here. Whatever it is, it's a big one off in the distance. Well, anyway. Well, I can't believe the sky cleared up. It rained steadily today, and now it's cleared up out there, and it's not hot. Oh, dear. Well, anything going on?
Nothing's going on.
I mean, topically, current events, state of the human species.
We're all doomed. Doomed, I say doomed. The Libya thing, tens of thousands of people dead. On the heels of the Morocco earthquake. On the heels of the Greek floods. On the heels of, it's just one freaking disaster after another. And yet the climate change denialists are going, but Jesus is coming back. We don't have anything to worry about. What God made, people can't put us under. Blah, blah, fucking blah.
Well, it seems like every time the general focus of the news apparatus is beginning to finally zero in on Trump and the Republicans' crimes, all of a sudden a natural disaster happens. So we can take our attention away from that. And
then we can watch the Republican governors begging for all the financial assistance from the government. Yeah, that was another thing. The hurricane hit Florida. It's just, Texas got hit with something or another. It's just, They're constantly
So-
bitching and bitching and bitching about federal spending, but they've got their hands wide open
Well,
when it comes to things like this.
I heard a quote a couple days ago. Republicans turning their focus on out of control government spending. Out of control?
Have they not looked?
It's all budgeted.
I know.
And Tommy Tuberville is going to hold up funding for the military unless the military stops providing abortions for service members.
He held up the general replacement for the Marine general or something earlier this year based on the same bullshit. These little petty little bitches. And they have no idea. No fucking idea. You really don't want me to get started on abortion rights?
Well, it's more than just abortion rights. It's reproductive rights.
Yes, you're correct. Because these Catholics out there that are on the Supreme Court and other extremists think that you shouldn't even be on the pill. That IUDs are right out. That sort of thing. And the irony is listening to these idiots in the Republican Party that are the supposed more moderate wing going, maybe we need to have some kind of staggered system that we go back to so we can make allowances for the life of the mother or for extenuating circumstances, not realizing that Roe v. Wade was set up in that exact same way based on trimesters. First trimester, unlimited. Second, limited. Third, life of the mother only. All those things were already enshrined, and they undid everything.
Speaking of which, I don't know what made me think of it, but last night I looked up the phrase Bill Maher is an idiot, and I found a fairly recent video of somebody criticizing. He was criticizing the UAW strike, and he was criticizing.
What the fuck?
Well, I know what it was. It was because he had decided to go back to work with his show, even though the strike was ongoing with the writers and actors strike. And the thing that pisses me off, and a lot of people were agreeing with me about this, is that his basic philosophy is everybody's full of shit. So we can't come down hard on anyone because we must look at the wrongs within ourselves. We are just as guilty. At a certain point, you have to say, no, they're wrong.
When Trump was running for president, they started giving equal weight, equal time to absolute absurdist statements and policies. That Kellyanne Conway he had working for him during the first term, and I'm scared that he's going to have a second term, she would make these complete fallacies online, statements. She would go on, and they wouldn't challenge her. Rather, they'd just give her equal time. As if what she was saying was somehow or another correct, when in fact, there was no Bowling Green massacre. There were a lot of things that she said that were so outrageous and obviously lies. They didn't challenge any of it. NPR was guilty of it too. It wasn't just CNN and all their ilk. NPR was over going, well, let's give everyone equal time. You know what? If somebody's out there advocating for the overthrow of the U.S. government, as they were on a certain day, you shouldn't give those people time on the radio. You shouldn't give them time on television.
Well, the thing that pisses me off about Bill Maher, one of the things that pisses me off about him, is his typical, it's stereotypical behavior. That when you're young, you're like, yeah, the system's fucked, man. But then you get older, and you're like, oh, these young people today, when I was young, I worked hard to achieve what I wanted. But these young people today, they have no standards. They don't want to work. Their music is garbage. And he is so full of shit.
Peter took a class a number of years ago in college. I forget what it was. And they were going over literature from all these different periods of human history. And the professor started off with this humorous bit. He says, let's look at what such and such people wrote in Rome, in Greece. He just goes through all the different time periods. And over and over and over again, there were these quotes. The old people criticizing the young people for their, ambivalence or their fashion or whatever it was. This is just time honored. They do this again and again.
And they're the old people are the ones, especially now, that are in charge.
Mm-hmm.
Running everything into the ground.
Yeah. Well, this week was also the week that idiot from, New Zealand, made all those stupid comments about how we should just fire all these people and make them suffer, and if they don't want to work and all that kind of crap.
That was an Australian real estate developer.
Yeah. And he was the one who said that when I was coming up, I worked 70 hours a week so I could become a millionaire. Not realizing that people in his country, our country, and every country, there are those who work 70 hours a week, but they're working these jobs that are shit jobs, lucky to get minimum wage, may or may not have any benefits, and they're doing it out of necessity because the rent's too damn high.
F. Scott Fitzgerald once said that every rich person has some personal theory as to why he's rich and how he got rich, because in truth he has no idea why he has been selected for wealth and others haven't. So it always boils down to, well, I worked hard and I had special talents, not considering that for every person who works hard and makes it, there's 100 who work hard and don't make it.
Oh, more than that. It's more than that. Thousands who don't make it. The billionaires, what are they? Not even 1%.
Well, you can bust your ass and make it. You can bust your ass and not make it. You can sit on your ass and fall ass backwards into luck.
Donald Trump.
Or you can sit on your ass and just vegetate into the woodwork,
Also, the idea that somebody wants to go out and bust their ass for all these hours so they can get money, and it's not a matter of survival. Let's say you don't have to work to pay the rent, which is 60 or 70% of your salary, and you just have money and you want to keep stockpiling your money. What about your personal interest beyond stockpiling the money? What about self-betterment? Was it Carnegie who said that 8 hours for sleep, 8 hours for pleasure, 8 hours for work?
Well, I don't know.
But that was the philosophy. The idea was that for your working hours, you should have the equal rest time and you should have equal free time. Something to improve yourself. And that's why people like Carnegie said, well, let's give something back. I'm not saying he was a great man anyway, but he did create the Carnegie Library System, where people had access to information, to books, etc., that had never had access to it. Think about all the little Carnegie libraries here in North Georgia.
Well, a lot of these people don't understand that not everybody has the same motivations or the same ambitions.
That's right.
I don't give a shit about having a mansion and a fleet of cars. I want to do my art, and that's it.
Some people just want to go home and veg at the end of the day, drink a beer, and watch TV. Other people want to go home and spend time with their kids. Other people want to go out and they want to take their kids to their soccer games, or they want to go to a class, whatever. There's a variety of things. It's not all about the almighty fucking dollar.
I met so many people when I was in my early 20s, and they were like 5, 6 years older than I was, and they were just baffled. Don't you want to get your foot on the career ladder and move ahead? You're wasting your life. And, their ambitions were no more than, this bitch who's the supervisor that I have right now, that's her thing. She's just, you can see her whole body twitching because she wants to just get this phase of her career over with so you can move ahead in the corporation.
So what does she do every night, Lance? She sits on her butt and does what?
Okay, when you're a supervisor, the way at the post office, the way you get ahead is you take classes, or you go through courses on the computer and you pass a little test and then you move ahead to the next one. And then you have like an accumulation of these courses, and that qualifies you to move ahead to this level or that. And so all she cares about is sitting on her ass and using time, work time, to pass these courses.
Meanwhile, there's no management oversight, and people are standing around talking on one side, and the other side they're working. People are getting pissed off because fellow employees aren't being held accountable. So what happens? They say, fuck this, and walk off the floor and leave.
Well, at the end of the night, when, it's time to start dispatching, she jumps up all in a tizzy and wants to help us dispatch. And she's, oh, don't worry about that. Just leave it. We have to do this other thing. Anyway, I've seen so many people at the post office that are like this, that it's career.
Yeah, but...
And they're like, aren't you concerned about your career? I don't have a career. It's a job. There's a difference.
I don't understand. She's been there for how many months? You'd think that she would have gone through absolutely all the modules. That tells me that she's not passing.
There's no end to these modules. It's just,
I think that she's having to take them 3, 4, 5 times before she passes them.
I looked over her shoulder at one of them, and it was how to issue a letter of warning, which is a type of disciplinary act. It's one of the stages of disciplinary action. And I think it's just endless permutations of the same information, which is typical of the post office. Since I have access to the computer, every so often I have to take this course and how to protect your how to change your password, how often to change it, what type of information these are the different levels of security for the different things, and it's the same information every single time. Just stupid. I can't make any sense out of it half the time. Anyway, I hate the post office. I hate it.
Not too pleased with the union these days either, are you?
Well, I don't know. I'm pro-union, but the union seems to be letting me down because they're not keeping me informed. The person who is my most immediate union steward, she acts like she doesn't know what I'm talking about half the time. What do you mean? What? I haven't heard anything about that. Anyway, let's not talk about that. Anything else happening?
Oh, since we last did this, I had another birthday. Don't say which one. And you bought me something absolutely gorgeous.
Bonnie wanted this
China hutch.
Basically, it's a China hutch.
Well, it's a secretary desk, actually.
Yeah. And
it has the display hutch over it.
But it has a fold-down desk area.
Yes.
Yeah.
And numerous drawers underneath. And
how old do you think it is? Maybe 50 years old?
Well, Lucy said that her grandmother had one. And Lucy's 10 years older than I am. So it's got to be at least 70 years old.
You think it's that old?
Yeah, I do.
It's in really good condition to be that old.
It is. But think about 70. That's 1950s. So yeah. I think it could be easily 40s, 50s, without a doubt. It's got some nice carving on that center door, and it's got the different pockets and stuff.
Does it have glass in it?
It has glass behind the doors.
I can't believe I hefted that thing into the house.
I can't either. I'm going to have to hire somebody if we ever bring in any more furniture.
I'm getting too old for this type of...
Yes, you are. And I felt terrible. I felt absolutely horrible about it because I had thought... Oh, we'll get it, we'll load it in, and then when Peter gets home, the two of them will get it. Nope, let's go ahead and do it right now. Open the door. And he goes and drags it in, and he's got lines on his chest and his arms from where he's been gripping it so hard.
I don't know how he did it.
I fold down the desktop and have a lamp on it for nighttime reading. In daytime, take the lamp off and put it next to the on top of the bookcases, and then close it up. And I've got a beautiful display. I've got a little place to put all of my, creams and such, and another place to put all of my little foot things. And
well, my birthday's coming up, so I'm going to have something equally extravagant for my birthday.
Don't expect me to carry it up the stairs.
All right, we are reaching the end of the episode. So,
yeah.
Anything else to add?
I love you.
I love you too. All right, let's check on the helicopter and then we'll be out of here. I thought I heard it come close to the house.
It sounds like a lawnmower with the way it keeps passing over. But it's probably security sweep. It's like have the governor and senator.
Yep, it's a helicopter. I can see it. There it is.
It's security.
All right. On that note, we'll say goodbye.